Hello guys, this is Daniel, and in today's video I will be reviewing the Copic sketch markers, and this is the set of 72 set B. And as you guys know, these are some of the most revered markers in the art industry. They can be sold as much as $421, I believe, on Blick right now. And I just wanted to see if these are worth the hype and worth the price tag, and if they're really that much better than the competition for the price. We're going to be using them for a couple of different sketches which I've already drawn, and we will review the result later on and see if the result was truly worth the money and the hype that these markers have. They're very they're very desired in the art industry. So I went for the sketch marker set B because they have kind of the right mix of colors that I really want. There are a couple good grays here, which is something that I really use. Good green, and there's a good variety of browns over here, which I really like to use for wood and earthy materials. There are some markers over here that I think may not be as much under my use, but I wanted to have as much variety as possible. I initially wanted to go for the 36 set, but I said, what the hell, let's just go for the 72. I'm gonna try to unbox this, and we will use these, and then I will look at the result and see if these were really worth the hype. You could buy markers as cheap as like $7, like this Azure set, which I bought from Walmart for I think around $7. They're useful in certain situations, but I'm not gonna be surprised if Copic completely overshadows them. So let's unbox this set and see what the hype is all about. So there are a couple different types of Copic markers that you can buy on various websites. So there's the Copic Sketch, which is the most popular, and then there's the Copic Chow, there's a Copic Classic, which is the original marker, and then there's a Copic Wide. I went for these ones because I think they kind of fit my style a little bit more. So I've taken the plastic off, and let me just take this lid off and see what these guys are all about. Okay, so here's a little pointy tip, and on the back you have a brush stroke. Yep, they smell like alcohol, as you may imagine. These are alcohol markers, and I think these things became really popular because they're a good alternative to watercolors, because you can't really carry around watercolors and use them everywhere in every situation, and these are a good alternative to them. And the trick is that they always stay wet, so the ink never really dries out because they're alcohol based. And so let's just give these markers a try and see if their money is where their mouth is, and we'll talk about the result and see how they compare against other markers and how they feel like. Yeah, there's a good assortment of blues here. Greens are the ones that I was really excited about because I'm looking forward to drawing a lot of trees. There's some other browns over here. Grays are the ones that I really want, and then I think I would be able to kind of bring these into some kind of use as well. And I really wish that you could actually put together like a custom set where you could pick up 72 colors from the Copic list of colors, and you could make your own 72 color box. So yeah, let's put these guys to the test and see how the result is, and we'll find out if their money is where their mouth is, and we'll compare the results. Okay, so I went ahead and sketched this very, very rough drawing of Cinque Terre, Italy, because it's got a lot of colorful buildings in there, so I thought it would be a good way to test out these colors. So here are my results, and although it's very, very rough and amateurly colored in, I just wanted to test out these Copic sketch markers, and I was trying to figure out how they blend in with each other. So the first thing that I noticed is the set that I picked, set B, doesn't have a lot of yellow in it, which I did not anticipate when I was buying it. So now I realize that you need to figure out what set of colors you are going to use a lot, and then focus on that when you're trying to pick out your marker set from Copic. Not a lot of yellows here, so you can see that there is one kind of dominant yellow that you see over and over again. Good collection of grays and greens. I did not know how each shade of gray will appear, so you can see there's some variation here in green, which I'm not really happy with. Maybe the next time that I try these markers, I will have a better idea of what green appears in what shade. So I was trying to try 2 different shades here for the ocean and the sky. So the ocean's kind of greenish and the sky's bluish, and just trying to see how these Copic markers blend in with each other. And there was some blending, but I can still see some shades kind of standing out on their own. So I don't know what to make of that. I've seen different branded markers kind of do the same thing, but there's definitely a difference in quality. I mean, these markers are really high quality. I did notice that as soon as I started. There's an immediate quality that you feel, but what I'm trying to figure out is it worth it for me to spend $420 on a set of markers? So here's another drawing that I did with these Copic markers. I like how the browns come out. That's kind of one of the things that I was looking forward to with these markers, because I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of browns, but I'm still trying to figure out how they blended together, because the reason why people go for alcohol-based markers is to use them as an alternate to watercolor, and I still don't think that you can really do that to the degree that I was thinking. I think watercolor still maintains a certain quality and fluidity that markers don't. So I'm really happy with the browns here, and then the set of Copic markers that I went with had only a certain amount of colors, so in order to achieve certain shades of yellow, I had to actually mix a couple of colors together. I believe that I used a color called pink, fruit pink, and soft light orange to get to a certain shade of orange and yellow, and then there's a good number of greens in there. So one thing that I noticed is that the grays don't necessarily blend in well with the colors. So the grays are their own thing, and then the colors are their own thing, and they don't interact with each other as well as I thought. And I actually messed up one of the drawings that I was doing before this one, and so just to keep that in mind, you can see here the shade of the calm, the shadow, it just sticks out and it doesn't work the way that I thought it would. Yeah, so it's almost like a different language. So here's another drawing that I did with these Copic markers. What I was really trying to understand here is how I can layer different colors on top of each other and what kind of effect I would have. Will they blend in, or would they look like they're literally sitting on top of each other? Well, I think there are certainly points where you can differentiate between the 2 different markers, and there are points where you cannot. They mix together to form a new color, and there were points where they just look like 2 different colors sitting next to each other. So it really comes down to your understanding of how these colors match together, and it's really the same principle as watercolor. I think these markers are a good alternate for watercolor, but you have to be careful that the point where you make contact with the paper, you are going to get that kind of stick out like a sore thumb, and you can see a lot of that over here in the middle portion of the drawing where I was not careful about it, and you can see a lot of points of contact where I started to make a line with the marker. So yeah, definitely don't use them freely. You have to think about that, where you start your stroke and where you end it. That's just a learning lesson for me moving forward, but I think I'm quite happy with the way this turned out in terms of the color variation and them blending in together. It's just about having the understanding of the color and how you're going to use it. So in conclusion, I do believe that these are very high quality markers, and for the people who really understand how to use them, these are the best choice. It really takes an understanding of how to blend in these colors together and how to use them to your advantage. If you are a beginner, I would suggest absolutely not to buy these markers because there are better alternatives for your skill set, and I would go for either Ohuhu, which is a more economical alternative to Copic markers. It has 320 colors, and I think you can get that for about $250, but that's just all the colors. If you want a basic set, I believe you can get one for $25 or $40, somewhere between that. So go for that. And if you're really a beginner, then I would suggest go for Azure. Just practice with that. They'll dry out a lot faster than Copic markers, but you won't feel bad about them. That's a good marker of practice, but I feel like you really need to understand how these colors blend in together, and I think that will happen more with practice. I can see myself using them when I'm shading or hatching a different pen drawing, and I like to kind of bring in a little bit of marker to bring in some personality. I will not be doing drawings like this where everything's marker. I just don't think that it's the best use of my money and time to do something like this, but I definitely recommend a cheaper brand if you are in the learning process. So yeah, that was my review and unboxing of the Copic sketch markers. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.